Hey guys, Craig here from Out There Touring. Something a little bit different today. So I've got some issues with the Hilux. It's just not starting properly. So I'll try to kick it over first and show you that, and then talk through what I think is going on. So you can hear it there lagging as it tries to start. So I've got just about 217,000 kilometres on the speedo. The starter motor is original starter motor and the battery's about 2 years old. So went over the Super Cheap the other day. They put a load test on the battery and it indicated that the battery was good with about 12.8 volts, and on the start test it was low, 9.38 volts. Ordered a new starter motor, and that's going to be today's project. The starter motor is down below the oil filter. I'm just running the screwdriver down. That's the oil filter the screwdriver's on, and the starter motor is below that, where that silver sticker is down the bottom there. So as you can tell, it's in an awkward spot to get to, but I found a different way. So my car's a 2011 Hilux. It's the pre-facelift model, so anything from 2005 through till, I think it's September 2011, this should be the setup. So tools you're going to require will be your jack, remove your front wheel, a couple of car stands, keep yourself safe, also a good socket set and some extension bars you will require. Now I'm not a motor mechanic, so if you're not confident in this, don't try it. But this is a job that anybody with some confidence should be able to do. Also, what you want to do whenever you work on any of your electricals is isolate your battery. So I've got the stands in place to support it if something was to go wrong with the jack. Just going to now remove the wheel. That will give me access to the starter motor from the side, and I'll show you where. So if we look inside the wheel arch, the silver sticker you could see before is just that one there, and that's the starter motor. Just in the back there. So what I'm going to do is undo these clips to remove this cover. Undo these two bolts here. Just move them out of the way. And then in the back of the starter motor, there's a bolt. The back of the starter motor, there's a bolt down the back there. And there's also a nut up the back, which is hard to get to. It's got the electrical cable on it. So it's hard to see there on the camera, but as I do it step by step, hopefully you'll be able to see. The nut that's on the back or towards the back of the starter motor, from memory it's got a 17mm nut on it. You will need some extension socket bits, and you have to run from up underneath, but I'll try to get the right camera angle to show you that. Just going to run a screwdriver in behind these little clips. Just move that out of the way. That now gives us a good look at the starter motor. Just at the back there. Now, there's an electrical connection there, which from memory just, it's got a nut on it. There's also another one up the front, I think from memory, which just unclips. You've got one bolt just in behind the screwdriver there. So up the back where that lead runs, there's a nut. Now that's the hard one to get to. So I use a number of extension tools and I run it down beside the gearbox, I think it is, and then find a little gap just to break that nut free. Going to undo these two, I think they're 13mm or maybe 12mm bolts there. Just move these out of the way so that it gives you a bit of hand space and that's where I'm going to pull the starter motor out through here. These two bolts are actually 12 mil. There's an electrical cover or terminal cover just back here. That just unclips. Just remove that. So that exposes a 12 mil nut. Just undo that. So the terminal on that electrical cable, I'll clean them up. So I'll grab a bit of sandpaper or wire, just clean these terminal ends up. I've just got a 17 mil ratchet with a knuckle on there and a couple of extension bars. You can't get much of a turn out of it. You just want to loosen that off anyway. The front one is actually the 17 mil bolt, which means the one with the electrical cable up the back, I think, is a nut. The bolt's removed. That bracket's now movable as well. You can just work that away a fraction and then try to get to that nut up the back. So you've got to get it up onto that nut right up there, and then some extension tools down to here, and just ratchet it off slowly. You will need a knuckle on your socket set as well. That might be able to come off by hand now. There's the other electrical cable. So the starter motor's free. Let's get one hand in the back if I can of it. Probably can't. Now, there is still another little electrical plug on it somewhere. There we go. So I've just pulled that lead off. Just a plug-in fitting. Just gotta work it out slowly. Just be gentle. There we go. Starter motor. So that's the bolt from your access from the rear that's got the electrical terminal on it. Turn it around. There's your nut, which has got the other electrical terminal, and then the wiring harness goes in there, and that just clips in. So I ordered it online through Spares Box on eBay. Didn't buy just cheap Chinese one. Basically going back to the original. Just check those numbers, but just quickly looking at it, everything's where it should be. Let's get back into installing it. So just gradually work it back in there. In. Spin around again. Rightio. I'll just put that nut on there. I've still got the electrical lead to fit, but it's just holding it. Just tighten that electrical one up. Fitted that other lead on top of the starter motor. So just going to tighten them up now. So I've just taken that bottom bolt back out because I've got the top nut secure, and I've repositioned that bracket the support bracket. Just tighten that up. There we go. So once that's tight, just make sure there's no vibration in that bracket. That's secure. Refit these two brackets and then put up the cover, refit the wheel. So just make sure everything's fitted, it's secured, you haven't forgotten anything. I did forget the little cover on the electrical terminal. I've just fitted that. Everything else is secure. I've fitted that little electrical lug around the back, which is underneath. Can't get my hand in there now, but that's fitted. Refit the cover strip here. That's all back together now. I just did a quick check of the tools and the sockets just to make sure I didn't drop anything or leave anything in there. That's all accounted for. All I need to do now is put the wheel back on, reconnect the battery. Right now, let's see how we go. And we start. So there we go, guys. That's how to replace your starter motor on a 2011 Hilux. As I said earlier, I'm not a motor mechanic. Lucky enough, I've got enough tools and a bit of knowledge how things work, and confident enough to give this a go. If you're not confident, don't do it. Just get somebody else to do it for you. Take your time. Just remember where things go. Take photos even as you go so you don't get it wrong. Make sure your electricals are done, you've isolated the battery, and you know what terminals are going on where. Again, if you're not confident, don't try. Just a reminder, it's from a 2005 to a 2011 Hilux. Righto guys, going to wrap it up there. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. There'll be another video coming out shortly. Cheers guys, travel safely.